quickly get some of the things working perfectly. And we are back to the roundtable to continue and round up our conversations on the projection for President Bola Tinubu's 4 years or even more in office as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We've talked about oil and gas as well as the removal of fuel subsidy, and we've also addressed the bigger picture of what the economy is going to look like. Now, perhaps the most important conversation of all of this, because if there is no security, nothing is looking like it will work. And a state, a country that is not secured means chaos, and that is the primary duty of any government to its citizens: protection of lives and property. Now, Mr. Oketola, we've talked about what to do, but then failure to do this, to address this, will bring us back and back and just keep going around the same circle. Just yesterday and today, we had a two-part feature on how terrorism and banditry is still affecting some core parts of the north. And it surprises me that telecommunications, the absence of telecommunications in that part of Kaduna is what these terrorists are capitalizing on. Now, how do we nip all these things in the bud? Because the Buhari administration claimed a lot of success stories in terms of fighting terrorism, but then with this, it looks like there is still a lot to be done.
Yes, of course, there's still a lot to be done in terms of security in the country. Of course, the outgone administration, of course, expectedly we know dress. We want to give the impression that they did very well, but in reality, if you look at what's on the ground, I'm not sure that administration did, quite enough in terms of securing lives and properties in Nigeria. Situation is very bad. I remember like a few weeks ago, I was in traffic on the streets of Lagos, and street robbers were knocking on my glass, and they were asking me to give them something, and I actually panicked, but then I knew that there was not much that I could do. And so from banditry in the north to terrorism in the northeast, to robbery and all sorts of people are generally insecure in Nigeria, even in Lagos. Well, states like Lagos they have resort to supporting the police to generally improve the situation, but we're not where we should be, and the current administration must intervene immediately. The president said it during his inaugural speech that we're not just going to change the security philosophy, but he said we're also going to review and revamp the infrastructure. It should go beyond just statement. We need to see we have to see it in action. We need to see it in action, and I think that's where we should take it from. If we cannot get security and power rights, we're not going to go anywhere as a nation.
Yeah. Before I switch to Segun, editor, one thing that has always been, that was usually a bone of contention between the federal government and the state government in the last 8 years, has been the issue of state police. Is it the time that we will be having state governments doing more than the Western Nigeria Security Network or whatever operation they are having in different parts of the country?
Yes, state police is a very controversial issue. I don't want to also delve into it. But all I know is that you cannot build something on nothing. If we are going to be talking about state police, have we maximized the federal police that we have? Do we even have a police, a more well-motivated police department that can tackle insecurity in Nigeria? What we're saying is that look at what we have immediately. Do what we call, immediate intervention. Motivate the men and officers of the Nigerian police. Because if you look at the military, the soldiers have literally taken over, municipal security functions that the police
should be doing.
Should be handling. And what does that tell you? It shows that there's a collapse of capacity. So what we need to do is to at least make best the current police force before we can begin to debate whether to embrace state police or not. But bottom line is that, of course, I believe that there are rooms for state governments, because they also have their security votes, and they also have some budgetary allocation for they can collaborate and cooperate with the police structures in their state, and not just the police structures. There are other, security structures, NSCDC, collaborate with all of them, support them to deliver, because at the end of the day, it is the security of lives and properties that is utmost.
Of course. All right, Segun, as we round up, President Tinubu, while he was the governor of Lagos State, and one of the things that he included in his manifesto in the area of security was how he used some no-nonsense approach to rid the city of Lagos of crimes. Although not to say that those things are totally gone now, but then from the approach of then to the century that we are, how does he connect, and how does he help the bigger picture of fighting terrorism and banditry in the country?
During the electioneering period, he was famously known for giving the Agbado Ewa speech, and many persons remember the fun and the jokes, or which it was eventually made to be known for. But people have forgotten that what he was actually saying was that the army needed to be equipped, not just with personnel, but with everything they needed. Since you have a situation whereby many persons are out or do not have jobs, there's a high level of unemployment. Two things basically: it will lead to more crime, and then these persons who are ready to work can be channeled into the area of security. Say, for example, there's this state with 3,000 youths without a job. Insecurity in that place will definitely be high. You cannot avoid it. It's what comes with high level of unemployment. However, if you take 1,000 of that number and put them in the army, in the police, and in security agencies, definitely they know what to do to secure that place. I think that is the approach he needs to use. Empower the people, get more persons who are willing, who are not people just going into that ministry or into that going into that profession because they do not have a job. People who are willing to truly secure and do something, do exams where view persons who truly have the love of the country at heart, put them in, and I'm sure it will definitely do something about it, and get other professionals who understand the system and get rid of security problems.
All right. Thank you very much, Segun. It's been an interesting 30 minutes or thereabouts talking about issues affecting the progress of our country, Nigeria, in 3 major areas, and we've been able to highlight some of the prospects and challenges that we might have in the coming days, as well as the results that we expect. Mr. Sheadayo Ketola, it's been a pleasure having you. Any closing remark before we go?
I want to advise the current administration to declare an emergency in the area of youth unemployment, because if we get more youth to be gainfully employed, we'll be able to reduce insecurity by a certain percentage, and generally the quality of lives will improve. Jobs.
Thank you very much, sir.
I know it's going to be very tough for the new administration, but Nigerians are very much on board with a positive change. I wanted to say change, but that would be too. It's giving us PTSD from where we are coming from. Something positive is what we are praying and hoping for.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And thank you very much, you, for staying with us all through the period of the program. Until next time, when we will come your way with other interesting conversations as regards our country, Nigeria. My name is Abiodun Adewale, bidding you bye-bye on the Roundtable.
Glimpse before I assume office, and what I've heard is that no provision is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone. Subsidy can no longer justify an ever increasing cost and
The tenure of the 4th president in the 4th Republic are marking the scorecard of the Buhari presidency. So many persons have a lot to say as regarding what they've experienced in the last 8 years, from May 29, 2015 down to May 29, 2023. Security, economy, sports, agriculture, and a whole lot of other fields are being marked by Nigerians. We are on the streets of Lagos to speak with the people, asking them what they think about what they've experienced in the last 8 years.
He did a lot when it comes to infrastructures.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
I'm going to rate this administration 1/10.
If you are following Buhari rules, things will be better.
If I was to rate it, I'll give it like a 2/10.
Average Nigeria, they are growing in poverty.
His administration was the worst so far.
He's the most person that disobey law.
And we are still dealing with the same party. The man Buhari is a good man, but a lot of people that is working under him, they have messed up this country. Because this is not where we are. We can see how things are now. It's very, very hard for a common man in this country now to even feed his family. Things have gone from bad to worse, like the insecurity in the land. And we are still dealing with the same party. I don't even know, in the next 72 hours, and this man will leave office. Then what legacy has he left behind? Nothing. Nothing. I can't even lay my hands on anything that this man has done. So I pray God will just help us. We are just looking up to God now, because currently now we don't have any other options. On a scale of 1 to 10, if I'm to rate Buhari, I will rate that man 0. I will rate him 0 personally, because me, I'm from the middle belt. I know what people are. The lives, millions of lives have been lost. Nothing, no plans for the future. Everything is destabilized. Like, I don't know. I won't rate in anything. Nothing. He has nothing from me.
He has tried in his part. I know he did a lot when it comes to infrastructures and some other things that really improved the Nigerian economy, which is good. But the downside of it is the security, where we think they need to do more. And I pray that as soon as he goes out of the office, the Almighty God will help the incoming one to do better than what he has done. Well, I'll give Mame Buhari 7. He has tried. As a person, we can't do everything.
I beg, I'm short at the verse. 29th May, it's just like it will be like first match. It will be like first match. The nation will be mourning. Nobody is happy. Okay, let me just give you a very simple example. As at 2016, we are buying fuel at the rate of 97 naira. How much are you buying fuel now? 185. From 97, they increased it to 145. From 145 to 165. Now it's 185. Before they even settle at 185, we bought fuel at 400 naira. So what are they saying? I beg, this country don't tire person.
On a scale of 1 to 10, man.
0 over 10.
Yeah, well, this administration of Buhari, the outgoing president, I rate him, in terms of the economy is poor. Maybe I give him 20%. Security, maybe 40%. Education, maybe 40%. Yes, because the economy is getting bad to worse. People can no longer feed very well. The price of food items is skyrocketing every day by day. Yes, the people cannot afford the normal basic things of life. Food, shelter, it's a problem to people. Then the infrastructure, of course, some roads are constructed. Niger Bridge, well, try. Lagos Ibadan Express Road, and some other thing. He tried his best, because at the onset of this administration, the Boko Haram menace was high, but now I think he's reducing. Yes, they got the kidnapping and all those things. But economically, the government has performed woefully. Look at the CBN. Look at this policy of CBN. Look at how many lives that went for this CBN, this Naira design. That's part of a poor economic policy for the CBN.
He has done his best the way he knows how to do it. And thank God, at least we are alive. We are kicking. We are doing well in our own way as Nigerians. We will just have to hope for the best and pray that the next administration that will come will be better than the one that is living. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to rate this administration 1/10. 4/10.
President Muhammadu Buhari has done his own task, and at least he tried his best for the whole Nigeria, and we are expecting more from Asiwaju. I will scale Muhammadu Buhari 5.
We don't need to curse Buhari, so because Buhari is doing his best, but people are behind him. They not make the work to show or to see what he's doing. That, for my side, he's the one doing the railway to Ibadan. I will still raise him one of the best because era of Jonathan, there's crisis. Era of Obasanjo, there's crisis. So there's no president that will not come, that will not face challenges of one or two.
For the 8 years, we were facing stress because nothing was working. All the border was locked up and people were starving. In fact, the economy was totally down. So I think for that economic aspect is zero. But for other aspects, in terms of maybe, even is the most person that disobey law, he doesn't even follow due process. He do something else on his own way. You understand? If maybe court say this should not take place, he will not obey, he will just do what he likes. So at least that is not democracy. He's using military. For me, that one is too harsh for democracy. For the borrowing and everything, is rugged because this president, Diamond himself, want to borrow. Said he want to borrow and the incoming government will use it. So for that, I didn't rate him anything for that.
The outgoing government didn't really do much. They didn't do anything. It was actually very disappointing because things just got terrible. Even the insecurity and inflation was crazy. Like everything is just bad, to be honest. If I was to rate it, I'll give it like a 2 over 10.
If you talk anything about it now, just be like medicine after death. So don't they go. So make another one where they come. Make it they successful for us. Buhari is a woman being. So can nobody is perfect. So that's it. So nobody. But if there's a make you rate Buhari, at least he tries more. Let's say out of 100, let's say take 50.